Well, good afternoon, all you Darkstar fans and other flying public, loving the sound of speed. So we are recording. We can get that off. This is a custom departure. We are taking off from. We're not taking off. We're at 100,000 feet over Death Valley, and this is northeast of Edwards Air Force Base. So we're gonna land at Edwards on the desert. That's not it. In Yokern. Now we come down here. And I see it now, right here, Edwards. And we are going to arrive. We're going to land on runway 23. Let's see which runway we got here. Yeah, 23 left. That's our approximate heading. And we are dead sticking. We are going to just we kill one engine. We kill both of them if we didn't want to have our landing gear. The first time I tried it, I shut down both engines and didn't have hydraulics to put the gear down, or simulated hydraulics. So the Space Shuttle had no power when it landed. The X-15 had no power. So we're going to simulate no power landing, and we'll be at 100,000 feet. Going Mach 3 something. Not using the scramjets. We're just a glider, and see how we call that dead stick when there's no power. So let's click it up here. We have a couple of things to do, so when it comes on, we will put it on active hold, they call it. Here we go, and we're already heading the 200, 180, 190, 195 degrees. Here it says 196. I learn something new every time I fire this thing up. So we click ready to fly, and then we just go over here and do the active pause. So we can go ahead and shut down. We'll shut down the right engine. That's off there. That shuts down the right engine. And we have the left engine is idle. And we don't have anything else to do in here. We're not going to light up our afterburners. We're not going to put our scramjets in standby. And look, we can see the Pacific Grove on our display here. It's 100 nautical miles from Death Valley, so we'll see if we can make it 100 miles in free-fall. So let's go out here, and we can move the sun so it's not going to look us in the eyes like that. Let's move it over earlier in the day. That ought to be pretty good right there. Right over Death Valley. Okay, almost Mach 3. So let's set her up. We'll probably have to put the nose down a little bit. We're going to ultimately glide at about, let's glide at about 250. The Space Shuttle was 300. I don't know what the X-15 was. But 250 with this should be pretty good. Nothing under 250. Here we go. And we're going to drop the nose a little bit. And we're going to make sure we got the landing gear up. We're going to keep this heading. We're going to look down. The airspeed is dropping. This looks like a pretty good attitude to be. We could have the nose down maybe a little more, but I think it's probably about right. It's losing speed as it goes. There's the nose. The nose is dropping. Here, we'll get back on the tail and put it in the little left bank. I think Edwards is going to be right in there. That's my guess. I'm going to stick with it, and then we'll look down at Death Valley here. And I think Death Valley is going to be right in here. I landed in that little airport about 100 years ago. No, I went in with a Comanche, a friend. Was taking his family over there from Monterey, and we put him in there. Death Valley, Furnace Creek. If I got it out right, Furnace Creek. Okay, let's get back on the tail. I think the nose is probably down a little too much. Let's get the nose up just a little bit. And we can go over to the left. I see our course is moving over here a little bit. So we're down to Mach 2. Let's see if we get a little better resolution with our chart here. Yeah, that's a little better. Look at there's the moon. We'll watch the moon a little bit. So where are we now? We're at 40,000 feet. How far are we? We're 40 miles away, so we've covered about 60 miles. Of course, we were going like crazy. We're still Mach 1, which the true airspeed you see down here in this little box, 600 knots. Still moving pretty good. We should be able to at least make it to the dry lake bed. But we'll see if we can put it on a runway. It does get a little boring. What I've learned is at least the one pilot that was talking about the Space Shuttle, that they didn't take it off the autopilot. He didn't until it was under the speed of sound, and then they would hand fly it. This doesn't have an autopilot, so you have to hand fly it all the time. So now we are truing out at 400. We're at 32,000 feet. It's kind of stabilizing. We're coming down at 5,000 feet a minute. The airspeed stabilizing. We can keep it at 200, but it's not realistically. It's really at 350 knots. True airspeed. And I don't quite get this. At half the speed of sound, we have to be going over 300 knots. So this readout of 200 knots doesn't make sense. But when you factor in the density altitude, that shows up differently. And we can take a look at what we look like here. Looks pretty good. We see the dry lake bed moving under our nose with a relatively stable airspeed. So looks like we will make the lake bed. Whether we make a runway or not, that's another issue. We'll look at look here at our route of flight, and we can deal with it being a little big. 50 nautical miles, so we are probably about 25 nautical miles out. Let's look at our readout on our panel. We're 20 nautical miles out. Yeah, and our nose is down 10 degrees down. And we're from level flight. Let's see how that looks again. Looks like it's down 10 degrees. Let's bring this up a bit. No, it's right. It's just sitting on the horizon, just slightly below the horizon. There we go. It does look like we're going to make it and then I see the runway out there ahead, so we might make it to runway 23. 19,000 feet. Now we're getting to the bottom of the green. So this now we have to believe this 190. So we'll have to keep the nose down. Let's move in here. Coming down at 4,000 feet a minute. There we got our speed coming up over 200 knots. We may make it to the big runway. 15,000 foot runway. So we don't need this chart anymore. Get down right there. All the way from Death Valley. When I did this before, we did it from Palmdale or Fox Field, which is maybe 10 miles away. And I was doing it from 50,000 feet, so or 48,000 feet. It was balking at getting up to 50 that day when I did it. See, we're maintaining our 240 knots, 200 plus knots. So we are going to make it. So what I'm going to do is come over here to the left a little bit and get lined up. Once we get lined up, I'll figure out whether I need to put on the air brakes. So 7,000 feet, the airfield is probably at about 3,000 feet. I think we're going to have to come out, but it is 15,000 feet long. So we want to. I'm going to put in a little speed brake. Speed brake off. There we go. We're at 215, runway 22. Put the gear down. We made it. And I've got the throttle all the way down to idle. We'll go ahead and see if we can make this turn here. No, not quite. So that's your dead stick flight from Furnace Creek. We'll go ahead and shut her down. Let them tow us. We'll go to the end of the runway. I did use a little braking. We'll look back. Yeah, we don't need to go in, but just so you can see how long this runway is. Now we'll try some brakes. And we'll let it just roll out. Shut off the other engine. Yeah, we'll put it just off the main thoroughfare here. Looking around, you can see the tall buildings. Get a little look back. We're looking back at from whence we came, Death Valley. This is probably over by the Tehachapis over in here. Okay, thanks for riding along. That's your dead stick landing. It did take me 2 tries. The first one I didn't realize when you first start out at the fixed altitude, 100,000 feet, you're moving at Mach 3. That's pretty good. You're moving over the ground. We're at Tehachapi, not that far away. So we zipped right past. It just didn't quite make it back in. But this was more fun, out of Death Valley. Brought back some fond memories. Thanks for riding along. See you soon. Bye.